Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, guys, today we are going to discuss sweating the small stuff. How many of you sweat the small stuff? And what I mean by that is how many of you freak out over you spilled a glass of water in the morning. There's a roadblock on the way to work. Like the little trivial things that just set you off, like the silliest of things. You ran out of toothpaste that morning. Do they set you off? Does that like set the course for your day? Because I'm here to tell you that stuff is so trivial in the grand scheme of life that who cares? Who cares? I have an arch nemesis, and it is called the school parking lot. And it gets me. It gets me. And guys, I'm telling you, this is a real challenge. This is a real challenge for me. Yesterday, it took me 17 minutes to get out of the school parking lot. But it took me out of my game. Like, I was so flustered. And it wasn't the 17 minutes that I was sitting there. I was getting anxious because I was going to be late for work. I love taking my kids to school, or I should say I'm down to one. I have an 11-year-old, so my 16-year-old drives himself now. Mama ain't taking him. And so I love that. I want to be the last thing that they hear before I turn them over to someone else. So before my 16-year-old walks out of the house, he hears, "No one determines your day, but you make it great." And then my 11-year-old, right before he gets out of my car, I say, "No one determines your day, but you make it a great one." And I want to be that person. I want to be the last words that they hear, something positive, so that if they're having a bad day, they can maybe reflect back on that. So, I got off track there. But so I want to drop my kids off to school because I could easily send Brant with Brayden. I could easily send him, and he could ride with him, and I wouldn't have to deal with that parking lot. But at the end of the day, does that 17 minutes, does that parking lot, does that really, I'm going to let that affect my day? That is so ridiculous. I let so much slide. Okay, yesterday I got my nails done. Sorry guys if you have to listen to this. But I got my nails done, and I picked out a color, and they were out of it. And she says, no worries, I'll go get you another one. So she goes back and she brings out the color, and she goes to put it on, and it's not the right color. It's I was picking out a tan color, and it's like blue glitter. Well, if you know me, I ain't wearing blue glitter. So she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Oh, no big deal." She's like, "Well, let me go get another one." So she goes and gets it, and she comes, and I mean, her face is just she looks so upset, and she's like, "I am so sorry. This one is blue glitter too. Look, it says hazelnut. It says it on it." I'm like, "Honey, if this is the worst thing that happens to me today, that you don't have my color of fingernail polish, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to chalk that up to a good day." I mean, you've got 14,000 other colors. I think we're good. But obviously by her reaction, she has people that freak out on her, because she looked like she wanted to crawl under the table like I was going to beat her. Really? It's a color of fingernail polish. So do you find that you do that? Do you freak out about the small stuff? Because at the end of the day, does it matter? All right, my nails look fine. Do they look fine? I think they look fine. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can't see them, but they look fine. And I guess I see so many people absolutely freak out about such trivial things. There are people that are I spoke to a woman yesterday, and I had no idea. She's taking chemotherapy treatments. She had a wig. She commented on my fingernails. I mean, it was all wrapping around the fingernails, but she commented on my fingernails that she just loved my fingernails, and she loved that I take care of myself. And I said, well, you know, my hands are in front of people all day long, and that's just something that makes me feel good. And I think if you feel good, if you look good, you feel good, and then you portray that out into the world. And I'm a strong believer in that. And she said, well, and I've met this woman a couple of times, but never did I ever know this woman had breast cancer and was going through chemotherapy treatments. And she had a wig, and she couldn't get her nails done because her nails are so paper thin that they split and they get infected. And here she is, just I would have never known. I mean, this woman could have complained and whined, but no. So does the color of my fingernails, does it, at the end of the day, does that really matter? Does the fact that I ran out of toothpaste and I had to just use mouthwash because I'm going to have to run to the grocery store to pick up more toothpaste? I mean, it at the grand scheme of things, people, it doesn't matter. And if you let that direct your day, that little stuff, if you let that direct your day, you're going to get off course every single time. So if you're not hitting your goals, you're not getting what you want, it's because you're letting that little stuff sidetrack you. So do you, sometimes, you know, people can yell squirrel and I lose my train of thought. I'm done. But I'm talking about letting something derail you from your attitude, your positivity, your focus. Don't let that little stuff, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you woke up breathing, if you're able to go about your day, it's a good day. That's a good day. If you dropped a glass and it shattered all over the kitchen, yeah, you get 10 seconds to say crap. I mean, you do. You get 10 seconds to say that, but then you clean it up and you move on. Maybe you dropped that because it needed to take you 10 minutes to pick that up because today wasn't your day to get in that car accident. Think about that. Think about, there's a reason behind everything. So maybe that little thing happened because if not, you might have been in a car accident that day. You might have. What if, you know, there's all sorts of things. Everything happens for a reason. So don't let that stupid little stuff derail you. Somebody doesn't say hi to you. What do? Do you get all offended? Do you let that set the tone for your day? They didn't say hi. Who cares? Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe you should go up and say hi and not make it about you. You ever think about that? Like, somebody doesn't say hi, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they just got off the phone with someone that something bad just happened. You don't know, so don't make it about you. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know, my sister lives in Jacksonville, Florida, and right now they're waiting to decide if they need to vacate their home because it could be destroyed by a hurricane. Yeah, me walking out the door 2 minutes late today and sitting in a school parking lot for 17 minutes, who cares? Who cares? They're waiting to decide if they need to leave their home that could possibly be destroyed today. That's what they're waiting on. So that little stuff, the broken glass, you tripped over a pair of shoes in the hallway because your kid left them there. Do you blow up about that stuff? Because it doesn't, it's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Now, it's okay to tell your son pick up his shoes or whatever, and it's okay to take a second, but don't let it derail you. What I'm talking about is that little stuff, the sweat and the small stuff that completely derails you from your attitude, your positive, your day. Like, it sets your tone. So, you know, when something bad happens, like, okay, let's just say the hot water heater breaks, okay? All right, the hot water heater breaks. Then your blow dryer won't turn on. Then you ran out of your lipstick because you knew you were supposed to get more and you forgot. And so are you the person that says, well, it's going to be one of those days? Are you that person? Or are you the person that says, it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. The cold shower woke me up. Hey, look, I'm going au naturel today. I'm going to give my hair a little break. And you know what? I'm sure somewhere, if you're a woman, I'm sure somewhere you got some extra lipstick somewhere. So it may not be your shade, but figure it out. So don't let that little stuff derail you. Move on, brush it off. It doesn't matter. Think about, if you got to think about something to pull yourself out of that funk, think about somebody that's going through something a whole lot worse than you are, than broken glass. So I challenge you today, when something bad happens and you start to get out of your good mood, like you start to let it shape your day and you start to let it take you out of your laser focus, I want you to think about life ain't that bad. This is something small, this is minuscule, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I want you to do that. I challenge you to do that today. And I also want you to remember that if it's important to you, you're going to find a way. And if not, you're going to manage to find an excuse. And I hope your day is absolutely amazing.